No, that was a different theme, and we just played the classic one. The classic one's the good one.
Wrestlemania.
You're terrible.
Move it up. What?
Linda McMahon?
Yeah, that's me. Linda McMahon. Wall. I was gonna not say my last name, and then I was like, I think I have said my last name before.
It's been said a couple times on the.
Yeah.
I think I've actually we've alluded to the wall part of it.
And your name, sir?
My name is Seth Rollins. No, Nathan Spavel.
Oh, that's what you call a prank in this industry, kid. You just got
Seth Rollins laughed.
You got. Or another Seth Rollins impression when you pass by him in the mall. Hello.
Okay.
That's what he sounds like. Just so you know, if you ever run into Seth Rollins at the mall and you pass by him and say hello, he responds, "Hello."
Hello.
Welcome to a very special mini episode of What Were They Thinking? Right at the end of March, so
this way they'll know what we are thinking.
What?
They'll know what we are thinking when this one's all coming, because we're going to be talking about our predictions for WrestleMania.
Fighting to survive. We're getting sued.
Maybe for defamation of character, but I mean...
It's true. How dare you desecrate a great song.
We've taken... No, I just mean some of the shots that we've taken to celebrities over the last year and a half.
What are you even talking about? Love Jennifer Garner.
Kevin Spacey, top-notch chap.
So yeah, WrestleMania 34.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, folks, we are recording this a couple weeks before this airs, so if something has changed or if something is no longer on the card,
just card subject to change.
Much like our card that we are looking at right now.
Exactly.
So WrestleMania 34, we're basically going to give our predictions on what we think is going to happen, who we think is going to win, at the granddaddy of them all.
And possibly expound on how we think it should go.
Yeah. I mean, James Ellsworth is not still wrestling, is he?
Not for them.
Because I feel like hot rumor. No, I'm just joking.
Gross rumor.
Yeah. WrestleMania 34. Again, this is wrapping up a wrestling themed month. Next week we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Nathan's going to tell us what the movie is after last week's hint. And we're going to get to that later. But as for right now, WrestleMania 34. First up, we got, and again, this might be different now, but as far as we know at this moment, we've got Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn in singles action.
This one is a hard one to call. For myself, I'd like to see Sami Zayn go over, but in a heelish way, forcing Kevin Owens to be a tweener or a babyface, because he hasn't really done that since he's been on the main roster. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll keep Kevin as the heel, because Sami's too smiley to be a heel for the most part.
I would also like to see them reverse and have Zayn win, and I think... Either way, I think if they stick with this match, I think Zayn will probably win. However, I'm thinking it's going to change based on what happened on past SmackDown. I think it's going to be Shane McMahon and someone taking on both these guys. I just don't know who his partner's going to be, but I feel like that will change.
See, I think that's kind of crap.
See, I'm kind of bored by Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Not the fact that they'll have a great match. I'm sure they will.
It's been a while since they had a one-on-one.
Yeah, but they had so many matches against each other.
That doesn't stop them from putting John Cena and Randy Orton against each other.
I never said I was super into that either.
No, what I'm saying is, like, I can see them sticking with this being a one-on-one.
I don't know. Well, based on SmackDown, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's my prediction, that the match will change. So let's move right along. What happened to my voice there? Next up, we've got...
it's that magical time in his life. He's noticing girls, getting hair where there wasn't hair before. You're going to have to start showering every day now, Brendan.
Oh, God! Well, speaking of noticing girls, next up is the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
The Women's Memorial Battle Royal?
Yes, the WrestleMania Women's Memorial Battle Royal. The Kelly Memorial Battle Royal.
Memorial for career.
Yeah. I love Kelly.
Before we even get into that whole mess, I mean,
is there any
honest to
controversy
goodness,
here?
well, there's it's no longer the Moolah, obviously, because the fans wanted the WWE to listen to them, and they actually, for once, did it the right way and started hounding the sponsors.
Yep.
Because Vince doesn't give a damn about what you have to say, but he certainly gives a damn about who's paying to help sponsor the show.
And I gotta say congrats to getting that done, because as much as it is annoying, everybody has their own little, like, fantasy booking ideas about how this match should go and how this WrestleMania should go. I mean, as we'll do the same here. And getting mad, I'm never watching WWE again, blah, 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 blah.
Liar.
What?
I say, every time I hear that, I say, liar.
Right.
You're lying to me and you're lying to yourself.
This was a much different situation, and I'm glad they took her name off it, because she's not really a good representative for this.
Especially for what they want to, where they want the women's division to be right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be about being, strong and independent and being able to, be seen as equals. And I don't feel that a lot of the stuff that's been said about Moolah, and if that is, indeed true, and by the sounds of it, a lot of it is, she's certainly not representative of where they want to be with that division or just the general climate in any entertainment or any industry at this point. Because she, like you said, like we said, she's a pimp. Not in like a 50 Cent song kind of way, but a legitimate pimp.
She's like, for those of you wrestling fans out there, she's like a less fun version of the Godfather.
Yes, she's the Godfather, but with all the real world traumas that come with human trafficking and drug dealing.
Right. I was gonna say, if the Godfather were a legitimate character or a legitimate person and female, it would be the fabulous Moolah.
Yeah. And not only that, she also used her standing and her stroke, if you will, to keep other women down, so she would continue to be the top draw and get the most money. So I mean, it's a combination of the Godfather being a legitimate individual and everything that Hulk Hogan ever did to any other person who he saw as a threat to his top spot.
Yeah, I will say she was probably worse than he was, though, because there is one reported story that apparently, not to sidetrack too much, because we never go off on tangents, so let me just...
Never. No, we're always straight linear, no cougitis here.
Wow, that was for one person.
A few people.
But at one point, apparently there's one story where she called they had an event in Japan, and they also at the same time had some stuff in the States, so they couldn't really... They tried to get a hold of the office to find out who was supposed to go over in a tag match. Women's tag match. They had women's tag titles at the time.
Yep.
So Fabulous Moolah took it upon herself to call and tell them, oh yeah, the office wants these two to go over to win the match, for those of you who don't know. She told them the wrong thing, though, intentionally. So when they had the team go over and win the titles, the office called them later, was quite upset, and said,
Obviously.
you just ruined your WrestleMania match, because also they were supposed to have a match at WrestleMania 4 for the women's tag titles, and they totally ruined that by, doing the wrong booking in Japan. And they tried to explain that Moolah had something to do with it, and they just wouldn't hear of it, and I guess they were just too angry to even accept that answer. And yeah, so she screwed 4 ladies out of a WrestleMania payday.
Doesn't surprise me.
So I mean, even if you want to go like aside from the drugs and the forcing her trainees to have sex with promoters, I mean, she also did some base level terrible stuff in wrestling.
And that's the thing, I guess, with this whole thing that came about, everyone who was getting upset about this, a lot of the stuff that was being put out there, for me anyways, it seemed like they were going like, guess what, you guys, did you know this about her? And it's like, you're not telling us anything that we kind of didn't already know, at least to some degree. If you want to really take that energy to tell the masses, to tell the sponsors directly, because that's going to cut off a good week, or in this case a few days, because it didn't take very long, of what you're trying to get across. And because when you do it that way, it's almost like you're coming as like saying, it's like the whole thing with Bill Cosby when Hannibal Buress did his thing. Everybody already knew. Now, thankfully, that it spurned a groundswell that helped push things along as far as like the judicial system goes, which I don't understand why it took as long as it did if a lot of the stuff was legitimate. But it's again, it goes back to tell the people who need to know. Don't just start telling everybody. Focus your energy.
Right.
Yeah. But we digress.
Yeah, that was
who do you think's gonna win this royal?
Well, right now the only person announced is Carmella, so I guess I'm going with her. No, I don't. I mean, there's nothing on the line, right? Right. It's just like the battle royal.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they do with the Andre the Giant one. Is it gives a little bit of a rub to somebody in the mid to lower card, and more often than not a whole lot comes out of it.
They should really do like something with it as a stipulation. Like, why not just give the winner like a shot at SummerSlam or something?
I'm gonna go out on a limb in this case. Bailey's not in any matches so far at Mania, is she?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that they give it to Bailey because I hope they give it to her anyways, because I think that girl needs to be augmented. I think she's more talented than the stuff that they give her credit for, and if they could start writing to her character as opposed to trying to force what they want her character to be.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Just why not?
I don't think she needs the rub as much as Bailey does, but
that's just my prediction. Who I think is gonna win, I guess.
No, I mean,
she also doesn't get to win a whole lot, so hopefully they'll do something for her here.
Well, not since she was the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion and got kind of injury prone there for about a year.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that time when she was away, she had an illness. I don't think she was actually like physically injured.
Oh, she had an illness, and I thought she got injured afterwards.
Well, maybe later, but yeah, no.
Basically, her attendance was spotty at best due to injury or illness.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't really put their full force behind her as far as giving a push. I think also what could help her is some promo skills. Stop calling yourself Becky Balboa.
See, really, I really I kind of like her promos. I think she has I think she's delightfully awkward, but I think in a likable way.
I think it's fine for someone like Bailey because she comes across as a fan who made it, but I don't think that's a good thing for Becky. I think she should be a lot stronger, and I don't feel like her character should be like, duh, I'm kind of goofy.
I agree to disagree.
No, I don't agree to that.
Next up, we have one of the arguably one of the headline matches here. Kurt Angle is teaming with Ronda Rousey, making her wrestling debut, taking on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I'm not saying this match is going to be like a classic or anything, but I'm actually looking forward to this.
Word on the street is that they're actually going to push this one to the main event.
I doubt that.
Well, we'll see. I don't know, man. You pay top dollar for a Ronda Rousey. You do all this build up, and then the first thing you do with her is put her in a mixed tag.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Garbage. If they did it with Brock Lesnar, how would you feel?
Brock Lesnar in a tag match?
In a mixed tag match.
For like his first match ever?
Okay, well, let's just not say first match ever. His first match back from UFC. When they paid all that money, did the special deal, bent over backwards to get him, essentially. And in the first match back, he's in a mixed tag.
Well, keep in mind, too, Ronda's not making a one-time appearance. This is a full-time contract that she signed.
But it's such a coup for them that it was like she is, she has obviously some name credibility to go with what they're doing. And so, I mean, if she's supposed to be put forth as like this legit badass, you take and stick her in a mixed tag?
Let me ask you a question then.
Mm-hmm.
Would you prefer if it was her taking on Stephanie?
No, I don't. It doesn't have to be about a McMahon.
See, I think it does at the beginning, because when she appeared last time, she had the whole thing
2
with
years
both
ago.
of them. Yeah, still though. I mean, I don't really have an issue with it. I'm sure it's just going to be a way to introduce her to the company. I'm sure she'll kayfabe break Stephanie McMahon's arm, and then she'll move on to other stuff. I don't think. I think it's because they want to break her in slowly. They don't want to have her just, singles matches with top talent yet before she kind of gets in her groove. And that's why I think they're protecting her in this tag match to start things out.
For me, I think that she obviously has legitimate skills. If she gets some training so she can work the style, to have her take on individuals, building to a story where maybe at next year's WrestleMania she fights Stephanie because she is becoming such an authority problem. I could get behind that. That's fine. I just feel that her first match out of the gate, if we're supposed to believe that she is female-esque Brock Lesnar, where she's coming from a legit combat sport into professional wrestling, she should have a legitimate opponent.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's one of the most anticipated ones for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that Ronda Rousey will probably pick up the.
If she
definitely.
doesn't, because they'll want her to be strong. Yeah, it's stupid if they don't. And don't get me wrong, I think the match will be fine. My gripe is just that this is her first match, and it's essentially a popcorn match. And on top of that, I've heard rumblings that they're pushing it towards the top of the card, if not being the main event.
Yeah, I still don't see that happening, it being the main event. But
they're not, I guess, because they're not getting a lot of confidence behind Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Because there's talk of Lesnar being all done, and Roman Reigns has currently got his name involved in some sort of steroid investigation.
Oh, don't even get me started on that nonsense.
We will, because that's going to come up eventually, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you mean the guy that keeps releasing videos that contain no real evidence?
Oh, I'm not keeping super up to speed on that
stuff.
Oh,
yeah, no, this is a guy that is like, hey, my next video is going to have the Roman Reigns evidence. Hey, I don't have it yet, but my next video, make sure you subscribe, because my next video is oh, wait, it's going to be next week. Yeah, it's bullshit. He hasn't proven anything. Like, until he proves anything, I'll...
You'll believe it when you see it.
I'll believe it when I see it, exactly. All right, next up is just a real simple one. Tournament final for the Cruiserweight title. It's going to be Cedric Alexander taking on either Drew Gulak or Mustafa Ali. Either way this goes, I'm pretty sure Cedric Alexander is going to win the title. I don't really have a lot to say about that one.
I hope it's honest to goodness, I hope it's Mustafa Ali. I'd like to see him. The guy's he's got some talent from the matches that I have seen with him, and I think that I can see the WWE possibly giving it to him just to get a little more diversity.
I mean, Cedric would be diverse too.
He would, yep. But don't forget that they're at this point they are playing a lot to the Middle Eastern Asia crowds as well. That's why Jinder got to be the champ there for so long. So I could see them doing that just so they could get kind of inroads with the audience over in that area of the world.
I just don't see them getting Mustafa Ali past Drew Gulak for WrestleMania. And of course, if you're listening to this, you already know the answer to that, but
well, and actually it does make more sense that it will be, because you said Cedric's in there for sure.
Yeah.
For it to be Drew Gulak, because he's the heel.
Right.
And Mustafa Ali,
no fly zone.
Mustafa Ali's not a heel, right?
I mean, they could do two faces. It's not unheard of, but
Vince is not a big fan of that too.
No, I mean, Hogan Warrior was kind of a match that made a little bit of money, so.
And it made money. He apparently they had to kind of fight tooth and nail for that.
Yeah.
To get that, to get him to go along with that.
I mean, it was sort of successful.
It was big in Canada.
So next up is another one we'll probably butt heads on a little bit, but it's John Cena taking on the Undertaker. Well, first of all, what's your prediction? Who do you think is going to win this?
This one. It's harder. Toss up is it's in this one. It is a toss up in this one rather, because if the streak were still a thing, then it would really be hard, and I would even want to say that they would give it to John Cena and let Taker retire on that end of the streak to big match John, and, move along on their merry way. Because the streak's not a thing, I think they might have Taker win just because he hasn't had he lost to Roman last year.
I honestly think Taker will probably win this too. Regardless of the match quality itself, I think it's going to be a spectacle. I think my prediction is I think this could end up being the main event.
I've heard that too. I've a lot of the stuff that I'm hearing now is that the main event is actually not going to involve a title, which I think is weird.
Yeah, I think it made sense.
I can't believe it took this long for that to happen. First of all, like this match.
Yeah. And
second, I can't believe that if they're gonna break the Undertaker streak, why wouldn't they do it with somebody like John Cena?
Yeah.
Because the only two options I ever saw with that was either one, you give it to somebody like a Bray Wyatt or someone who's supposed to kind of fill that role as the supernatural themed big baddie, or you give it to John Cena because he's your top babyface.
Yep.
So.
Or even like some of the other guys that have wrestled him over the years. I don't know how true this is, but I think... Now, I know you don't like this particular individual, but at the time he was hot, and he was on a hot streak. But I'm pretty sure Taker vouched at one point for Orton to be the first one to break it.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
I will say this, given when that was supposed to have happened, it would have made sense. I would not have cared for it because I'm not a big fan of his in-ring style or just him in general. But it would have made more sense because he's sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. Oh, what are you insinuating about Brock Lesnar? All right, next up. So I'm going to say The Undertaker. You said probably The Undertaker as well?
I said probably The Undertaker just because, they might want to give him a win at WrestleMania if, this is indeed his last one, which, they said last year was supposed to be his last one. I think it's kind of bollocks for them to be doing this in general because I think everything was tied up in a neat little package last year, and they could have just left it at that.
Okay. Well, I think that's my most anticipated match on the card. Of course, next to, I was going to say something jokingly, but there really isn't anything that I don't want to see. Adamantly am against. But anyway, next up we've got the SmackDown Women's title match, the championship as it were. Charlotte Flair is defending against Asuka?
Mm-hmm.
Because she came over from Raw and decided to challenge. To
challenge and show Ronda Rousey how you're supposed to point at the WrestleMania sign.
To be fair, she's never pointed at the WrestleMania sign.
It's pointing.
What was wrong with her point?
Oh, it was overdone, and two, it just looked like she's just look in this general direction. And Asuka was very direct with her point.
Nathan, let's see if you'll say that to her in person, ladies and gentlemen. Ronda Rousey.
Hey guys, I'm glad to be here. So happy to be here.
Whoa.
Just happy to be here.
Ronda?
Yeah, just happy.
Why do you sound like a Muppet? So next up, so Charlotte and Asuka. I'm gonna say Asuka.
Yeah, I'm going with Asuka on this one too.
Here's the crazy thing here. I think one of two things is going to happen after this match. So we have Carmella with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yep.
I think either she is going to come in, cash in, and Asuka's just going to kick her in the face and choke her out.
Oh.
Or
that'd be great.
Or this would actually make me pop more because I would laugh so hard at the butthurt reactions. If she comes in, cashes in, and wins and breaks the streak, I would laugh so hard.
Oh, the internet would explode.
Exactly. It would be glorious.
Everything I've heard, though, is that when she cashes in, she's going to lose.
I don't know. I feel like that would be shitty, though. I don't like cash-ins and losses.
Well, it's got to happen because otherwise then it just becomes, guess who the next champ's going to be?
No, I know it has to happen every once in a while, but I mean, they just did it with Baron Corbin. They don't need to do it again. I think it would be interesting if there's some kind of loophole and she finds a way to cash in on the Raw Women's Champion or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be interesting too.
Yeah. You think she's going to come down and she teases that she's going to come down during the SmackDown match and then the Raw match happens and boom, there's Carmella. 1, 2, 3.
Well, because it sits now. What is it? It's Alexa and Nia.
Well, that's the rumored match right now. It hasn't been officially... Again, could be officially signed at this point, folks. We don't know. Pre-recorded.
Well, if it does go to that, that would actually be really cool to see, because, you know, Alexa could go through just this brutal match where she is beaten mercilessly by Nia Jax and wins out of some, you know, heely, flukish kind of way, and then Carmella comes down and out heals her by cashing in.
I think if that match does happen, I'm pretty sure Nia Jax will finally win the women's title, and
Yeah.
that storyline is really interesting, I think, especially for the women's storylines they have been doing lately. I think that's one of the top ones, that and the Bayley Sasha Banks thing.
Yeah, and just think, if Enzo hadn't been a total scumbag, we wouldn't have gotten it.
Oh, we would have gotten a great Nia Jax Enzo Amore romance storyline. Yeah, I was looking forward to that. So next up, we're rounding the bend here. We got a few top matches left here. We got Randy Orton, the current United States champion. I know you like the sounds of that. Defending the United States title against Bobby Roode. By the time this airs, Jinder Mahal could be in this match as well. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, that's the rumor going around anyways. And I think, for me, I don't even care for Orton, but when they start pointing out the fact that it's the only active title, I guess, that he hasn't held, I really feel it would have been better for him to win it at WrestleMania.
And this also reminds me of last year when they had Bayley beat Charlotte for the first time at her first loss on pay-per-view.
In Milwaukee, pissing Wisconsin.
At the pay-per-view before WrestleMania.
Yep. You have a moment that is easily, you can set in as a WrestleMania moment, and you just throw it out the window for a B-list pay-per-view.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
But if it goes to a triple threat, I could probably see Randy retaining. If they stick with it being a one-on-one, Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton, I could possibly see them hot potatoing it back to Bobby Roode.
I think either way, Orton will be retaining, and I think if they put Mahal in the match, it's just so he can take the pin instead of Bobby Roode.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we're both. I guess you're saying Orton if it's a triple threat, maybe Roode if it's a singles.
Yes.
Well, speaking of triple threat, we also have a match that could end up being the match of the night. We have The Miz defending his Intercontinental title against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in a triple threat match.
And I'm figuring that The Miz will retain, probably through the help of the Miztourage.
I think so too. I think the fact that having both those guys in the match is going to cancel it out, and I think The Miz, will find some sneaky way to retain. I think this match is going to be really good. So coming up, we got something awkward here because, unfortunately, this could be not a thing right now.
Yeah.
We've got AJ Styles defending the WWE title against Shinsuke Nakamura. Because of the possibility of this not existing at this time, I'm going to make mine quick. If this match is happening, I'm going to say likely Nakamura is walking away with the title here.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope this match is happening.
Well, yes, just before we started recording, we got the report that AJ was possibly injured.
Yeah, with an MCL tear, which is bad.
Yeah, and even if it's not a tear, if it's something that's that's even just possibly that could develop into something worse, I can see them doing a quick match with this and giving it to Shinsuke so AJ can get the time off, and they don't have to figure out some weird thing to do with the belt, so it has to get onto somebody else.
I'm gonna say this though. I hope, this is weird for me to say, but if he's injured I'd rather them just not do the match rather than a quick match, because if you're gonna
they're not doing that.
Well, what you think if he's injured they're gonna make him go out and wrestle?
No, I mean that they're not gonna have a WrestleMania where the title isn't on the line.
Oh no, I'm saying the title's gonna be on the line somehow. But I'm just saying, if you're not gonna have AJ go out there, or if you're gonna if the choice is that, or AJ has like a 5-minute match where he kind of can't really do everything he usually does, I would rather them just do the alternate option, solely for the fact that if you're gonna have these guys wrestle each other for the first time on the main roster, well, actually the first time in WWE in general, obviously they never wrestled NXT. AJ's never been in NXT. You gotta make it a big. It's got to be like at least 20 minutes, at least. 20 minutes.
You don't want something. You definitely because these two guys are as talented and able to work. They're not only their main styles, but just a myriad of styles. For them to be able to put on nothing short of a almost 5-star match, you don't want to see a Sheamus Daniel Bryan situation.
No, that was not good for either guy.
Horseshit is what that was.
Yeah, and I like both guys. I like Sheamus, maybe not as much, but I do like him. And I thought it was bullshit for both of them, really, because it didn't do Sheamus any favors either.
No, it didn't.
Basically made him a heel for quite a while, even though he was still working as a babyface.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, that's the thing. Even when he was a heel, everyone was behind Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Well, actually, before we get to the main event, there's one match that isn't listed here because we don't quite know what it is yet. But The Bar, speaking of Sheamus and Cesaro, are defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Braun Strowman?
Okay.
Oh, did you not catch that?
I didn't catch that, no.
Okay, so on Raw there was a Tag Team Battle Royal. And Braun Strowman was in a bad mood, so he decided to enter himself in the match by himself, and he eliminated not every team, but a good deal of them, and won the match single-handedly. So basically, at this point of the recording, people are wondering, is he going to have a partner, or is he going to go at it by himself? I think it would be hilarious at first to have him go at it by himself, at least for the
just
first
to have him
match.
win and say, I am the tag team champions.
You know what? Normally, I would say that's dumb, but I'm into it. Alternatively, if he has a partner, I think it would be great if it was someone like Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Who is cleared, by the way.
Okay.
So, just putting that out in the stratosphere.
We didn't the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
That's not listed yet.
They haven't put anybody in it?
No.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So just put everybody on the undercard is what we're
Basically.
yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't even begin to predict that match. Maybe like, I don't know. Everybody I'm thinking of is booked in a match. Mojo Rawley. Didn't he win last time?
He won last time with the help of Gronk.
Zack Ryder. I don't know. So, I mean, do you have a pick for that, I guess? If you did, pick a name out of a hat.
Throw a dart at the old dartboard.
Yep.
And jeez.
James Ellsworth.
Let's not, okay? Ty Dillinger.
Okay.
There you go.
10!
Yeah.
By the way, if I like Ty Dillinger, but if that chant could go away forever, that would be great.
You're not big on the crowd hijacking, are you?
No, not really. I don't care. See, if he's out there wrestling and they're chanting 10, great. It's his thing. Love it. But during other people's matches, it can get a little annoying. Especially, it's like the whole the what thing.
Yes.
With Austin. Hey, Austin's cutting a promo and they want to do their what chants or whatever. Great. Fill your boots. But when the Dudley Boys are out there cutting a promo on, like, you know, the Hardy Boys, don't shut up. Like, just stop. All right, let's